Good evening. I will now call to order the joint meeting with the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and Planning Board this Monday, December the 1st, 2025. If you will, please stand and join me in a moment of silence. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioners. We'll now move into our next order of business, which will be the election of the chairperson. And I'd like to start off by opening the floor for nominations.
Mr. Madden, I'm pleased to nominate Jamie Lineberger to continue his service as the chairman of the Lincoln County Board of County Commissioners. Chairman Lineberger has distinguished himself as the chairman, has brought a new vigor to the chairman's position, has brought an expertise that we've never had before in the construction industry, or at least in my time here, and I would like him to continue on. He has spent countless hours on many of our projects. I think he would be a good fit to stay.
All right, thank you. We have Commissioner Lineberger as a nomination. Are there any further nominations for chairperson? Hearing no further nominations, I'll consider nominations closed. I'll ask that the commissioners vote for Commissioner Lineberger as chairman. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any of those opposed? Commissioner Lineberger, or Chairman Lineberger now, I will turn the meeting over to you and let me bring you the little hammer.
Thank you. Thank you, Bud, for those kind words. And we'll now move into the election of the vice chair. I will open up nominations for vice chair at this time.
I nominate Bud Cecina to continue his role as vice chair.
Okay. We have a nomination by Commissioner Carpenter for Bud Cecina. Any further nominations? All right. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. So Bud is vice chair.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Thank you, I think.
All right. So now that's taken care of. We'll move into the adoption of the agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented. But before we do that, we are going to I've got a change to this. We're going to pull item D from the consent agenda, approval of new EMS pay plan, and we're going to move that to item 13. Then we're going to move public comment, other business down one, so public comment will now be 14, other business will be 15. Does everybody understand the change to the agenda?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I will entertain that motion to adopt as presented with changes.
So moved.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Patton. Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. The agenda is adopted unanimously. And now we'll go to the consent agenda. Or excuse me, we will adoption to rules and procedures. Sorry about that, guys. So I will entertain a motion to adopt the rules and procedures as presented.
So moved, sir.
All right, motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. It is adopted unanimously. Now we'll go to the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, now we'll move to number 4, presentation of employee awards. David Madden and Brittany Abernathy.
Well, good evening, Commissioners. Long time no see. I think I was just close to you a few minutes ago. So tonight, we're going to bring to you the presentation of our employee awards. If the board recalls, we did a modification to this a couple years ago based off employee feedback, where now the employees nominate. We get 3 individuals, 2 outstanding and 1 rookie of the year for a new. It doesn't always mean they're necessarily new, could be new in a position, but we get these 3 individuals that are outstanding in some regard, that they've shown a high work ethic, a leadership, a quality, technical skills, many other things, and they're nominated by their peers. And then those nominations are led by the HR department, and they're reviewed by winners of the previous year, as well as other members invited in for the awards. So with that tonight, without further ado, we'd like to present to you Lincoln County's Employee of the Year awards. So I'm going to let Brittany, I'm going to do the rookie, and I'm going to let Brittany present the 2 outstanding employees. You ready, Ms. Abernathy?
Yes. Our awards honor individuals who would go above and beyond in their roles, those who demonstrate exceptional service, integrity, teamwork, and dedication to the community we serve. This staff member has demonstrated leadership, commitment, and professionalism. In a time of transition, this individual stepped forward without hesitation, taking on responsibilities beyond their role to ensure their department and the employees within it never missed a beat. Despite holding the title of operations manager, this employee has been a steady hand guiding the department in the absence of a permanent manager. Day after day, they work to make sure every employee has the tools, resources, and support needed to carry out their critical work. They have taken responsibility for ensuring the department remains fully operational and for addressing issues before most people even know they exist. Their dedication goes beyond operations. This individual invested countless hours into developing pay plans, reviewing specifications for new ambulances, and making strategic decisions that will impact the department for years to come. Through intentional leadership, they have worked to create an environment where employees feel seen, heard, and valued. Their approach has strengthened morale, built trust, and helped employees feel proud of the work they do. It is our pleasure to award Matthew Williams, Emergency Services Operations Coordinator, as one of Lincoln County's outstanding employees for 2025.
First of all, congratulations. Thank you very much. If you'd like to take an opportunity to, we'll get a picture real quick. If you'd like to take an opportunity to say anything, you don't have to.
I'm speechless right now.
Get a picture with me and Vanessa.
Okay.
Turn the thing around there.
Want me to make sure it's all? Okay, good. 1, 2. Very nice. All right, it's good. Congratulations.
Come on, Matt. So, it's all, I'll keep this brief, but, you know, I think that surprises Matt. And I will say, talking about the pay plan coming up for discussion is, you know, he's put a lot of hard work into that. You know, he's stepped up to be a leader in a department that we know, you know, definitely had some challenges over the past couple years. He has worked really hard with the Emergency Service Director, Carr, and so we're real proud of him, so well-deserved, Matt.
Our next outstanding employee is a staff member who is a dedicated professional who consistently takes initiative and goes above and beyond in their role with the county. They have worked exceptionally hard to develop and strengthen the Adult Services multidisciplinary team, bringing together a wide range of community partners to collaborate and find solutions for one of our most vulnerable populations. Their leadership has been so effective that a neighboring county recently attended our multidisciplinary team meeting to observe the model established in Lincoln County. This employee maintains an incredible, stable unit due in large part to the continuous support, guidance, and strong leadership they provide. They work alongside their staff and do whatever is necessary to ensure that all work is completed with excellence. Their innovative processes and effective program development have been recognized by the state on multiple occasions. This staff member has been invited to present to other counties as a model of best practices for adult protective services intake procedures and the oversight of adult protective services cases. In addition, she has built strong, collaborative relationships with many community partners, including Atrium Health, Senior Services, and Emergency Management. These partnerships have significantly improved outcomes for our disabled adult population. She also took the lead in organizing DSS's participation in the Trunk or Treat event hosted by Emergency Management, further strengthening community engagement. There is no task or obstacle that she shies away from. She is consistently solution-focused, resilient, and deeply committed to both the disabled adults of this county and to the professional growth and success of her staff. It is our pleasure to award Jennifer Sigmund, Adult Services Program Manager, as one of Lincoln County's outstanding employees for 2025.
Told Vanessa to hurry up and take that picture. I thought Jennifer was going to faint on me there for a moment. I see your crowd back there. They're always a good supportive group. That we have a hardworking DSS group, and Jennifer exemplifies a lot of what we have over there. Committed to the citizens and people of Lincoln County, and does a great work. So thank you again. Congratulations. Well deserved. All right, I'm presenting to you Rookie of the Year. This year's Rookie of the Year has stepped into a critical leadership role with determination and a deep commitment to serving Lincoln County. Taking on a new position comes with challenges, yet this individual has embraced them with resilience and purpose. From day one, their leadership has transformed the culture of their workplace. They have worked tirelessly to create an environment where staff feels supported, empowered, and valued, helping the entire team thrive. While learning the intricacies of the job and the systems that support emergency communication, they have remained focused while demonstrating professionalism. Their contributions extend well beyond day-to-day operations. They have coordinated major updates to equipment, procedures, and planning within the center. Their dedication has lifted morale, strengthened relationships, and created a more collaborative atmosphere, both within the department and across the broader response community. They have also taken steps to address staffing challenges, and y'all know what that means, when needed, and they have even jumped in to dispatch calls themselves during high-volume moments. Their previous experience as a paramedic and EMS educator has enhanced their effectiveness, strengthened communication across agencies, and improved the emergency response system for everyone who calls for help. It is our pleasure to award Carol Missamore as Lincoln County's Rookie of the Year for 2025. So, yeah. Yeah, it goes without saying that that's definitely been a tough environment as well. As you know, we've faced staffing issues. This has not been anything the public is not aware of, but we've had so many dedicated employees to step in, work long hours to assure that those calls are received and handled and dispatched. And they continue to work hard every day to do that. And Carol has done a good job in stepping in and taking on those challenges, so we're proud of her as well. So that concludes our employee awards for this year. We will present them reoccurring at our employee appreciation luncheon, so all the staff to be able to also enjoy and be acknowledged there for both of the lunches.
Thank y'all. We'll move into the zoning public hearings. That will be Jeremiah, and we'll ask Ms. Gilbert to give us some information.
All right, thank you. So tonight, we will be hearing both quasi-judicial and legislative matters. So a legislative hearing is a forum for expressing public opinion about a project. A quasi-judicial hearing is considered an evidentiary hearing where the boards must make a finding of fact as enumerated in the Unified Development Ordinance. More importantly, these findings must be based on competent, substantial, and material evidence in the record as required by law. I need to confirm that no board members on either board have a conflict in regards to the cases before us tonight. No member shall participate in or vote in a manner that would violate the applicant's constitutional rights to an impartial decision maker. Impermissible violations of due process include a member having a fixed opinion prior to hearing the matter that is not susceptible to change, undisclosed ex parte communication prior to any quasi-judicial hearing, a close familial, business, or other association relationship with the applicant, or a financial interest in the outcome of the matter. Does any board member have such a conflict?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And after these two cases are presented, the planning board will move to room 310. You're more than welcome to follow them and hear those guys deliberate their findings. And also, if you are signed up to speak as an individual, you get 3 minutes. As a group, you get 5, and the group needs to be identified. Jeremiah, ZMA 770.
All right, good evening, planning board members, commissioners. Tonight's first case is a rezoning proposal, ZMA 770. Leah Fleming is the applicant in this case, and this is a request to rezone 1.01 acres from transitional residential to neighborhood business. The two parcels in question are located at 532 North Pilot Knob Road. That's at the intersection of Hager's Ferry Road and North Pilot Knob Road in Catawba Springs Township. This property is also located in the Eastern Lincoln Development District overlay, and it's adjoined by property that's zoned transitional residential, neighborhood business, and general business. This property is located within an area designated by the land use plan as suburban commercial center, suitable for a variety of commercial uses intended to serve the daily needs of the surrounding residential neighborhoods. You have included in your packet examples of, or not examples, but an exhaustive list of the uses that are permitted under the current transitional residential district, as well as under the proposed neighborhood business district. This property is also located in the stormwater permitting area for the state. That's administered at the state level, not the local level. I don't believe the applicant is anticipating requiring any stormwater permits based on their development proposal for the property. The planning staff has recommended approval of this request. You have our proposed statement in your packet, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have for me.
Does anyone have any questions for Jeremiah? Okay. I'll open the public hearing for ZMA 770. Is the applicant here? Is there anything you'd like to add? As you come to the podium, if you would state your name and address.
I thought there'd be like 6 people here. Not so much. I'm Leah Fleming, and my address is 12470 Preservation Point Drive. It's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't hold it against me. So I think Jeremiah did a great job as far as kind of explaining what we're doing. I'm a local gal, grew up in Sherrills Ford, and I'm a board certified physician associate, and the plan is to, after working with someone else within North Carolina and South Carolina for the past 17 years, I plan plan to open my own medical wellness clinic within the Denver area because this is where I'm from and that makes more sense to me. So any questions you have, I'm happy to answer.
Anyone have any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you. And seeing no one else signed up to speak, I will close the public hearing. And we'll move on to SP 2025-1. Jeremiah.
So this next case actually only requires action from the Board of Commissioners. So if the chair would like to dismiss the planning board so they can recess this separate room.
That's fine. Yeah, they're moving to room 310, so if you want to follow those guys to 310 to hear them deliberate. Yes. Yeah, you stay here. You stay here. Ready when you are, Jeremiah.
All right. So we don't often get requests for major subdivisions such as this one that aren't some other form of a public hearing, such as a special use permit or a plan development. But this is a request for major site plan approval. This is site plan number 2025-1, Grand Park LLC being the applicant. This request for major site plan approval is for the construction of 6 new buildings, totaling cumulatively up to 58,160 square feet for uses that are permitted in the industrial general zoning district. That would include uses such as vehicle storage, motorsports team racing, contractors' offices, warehousing, wholesale trades, machinery servicing and repair, and research and development as identified by the applicant on their site plan. Section 9.7.2 of the UDO states that any site plan that includes in excess of 50,000 square feet of floor area for buildings for non-residential uses requires approval of a major site plan by the Board of Commissioners in the form of a public hearing. So this request involves a 5.96 acre parcel located at 2471 North NC 16 Business Highway. This property is located in that industrial general zoning district and is adjoined by property zoned general business, residential single family, and planned development residential. You've got a mixture of industrial business and residential uses in this area. And just for a little bit of additional context, this property is adjoined by a shopping center to the east, so between it and Highway 16 business, and the Melwood residential subdivision to the south and the west. This property is located within an area that's designated by the land use plan as suburban commercial center, suitable for providing a variety of commercial uses to serve the daily needs of surrounding residential neighborhoods. Because we don't have these types of requests very often, I did include on the second page of your packet there the ordinance requirements for the board's consideration of this major subdivision. So the criteria that the board is to consider there is listed in items A through L on the second page of your packet. As I alluded to, the applicant included on their site plan, which is the final page of your packet, some details about their proposed uses. They've also included the location of the proposed buildings. There's already an existing building on site that's been there for quite some time. And so you have their proposed parking layout, drive aisle layout, the layout of the buildings. They've indicated they do intend on having, I believe, up to 27 units total in this complex. And the applicant, I'm sure, will be able to speak in more detail to exactly what they're proposing here with regards to who will occupy those units, whether it'll be for lease or what his model might be with this project. But with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have for me.
Anyone have any questions?
Jeremiah, the road that's going in here, that says Trays, I can't read the rest of it. And Melwood Homeowners Association, that road, is that a state-maintained road? Is that road maintained by Melwood?
Can you specify which road or which map you're looking at, Commissioner?
All right, here, is that state-maintained, or is that?
It is
Melwood road?
not. That is dedicated as a public road right-of-way, but it is not state-maintained.
So if there are lots of really large trucks that go in and out of there, someone's gonna have to fix that road, and it's likely gonna be the Melwood Homeowners Association, is that correct?
So the applicant's site plan does not show a vehicular connection to that road.
Okay,
And then there's a note on there that says, if I'm looking at the same place, connection not feasible due to grade differential.
okay, I
So is
got
there
you.
a drop off there, or is that, I mean,
Correct. There's a very significant grade separation there. The only access proposed to this site is the shared driveway with the shopping center up there along Highway 16.
Are we concerned about noise from this facility bleeding over into the Melwood neighborhood?
So the UDO has some language, some standards about noise. It's supposed to be contained within the site. I'll allow the applicant to speak to what their expectations are with regards to the tenants they'll have in here.
Thanks, that'd be great.
anyone else have any questions for Jeremiah? Okay. Is the applicant here? Anything y'all like to add? If you would state your name.
Yes, my name is Bill Zemak, Graham Park. I'm the property owner, a local Denver resident. You need my address also?
Yes, sir.
8520 Norman Estates Drive in Denver.
All right.
Thanks, Jeremiah, for your work and your team's work putting all this together. As a contractor for a large part of my life and small business owner for most of my life, finding small facilities that graduate from working out of your home to not quite to your own 5,000 or 10,000 square foot building, I have found there's a massive need to have those smaller facilities to run a business out of. Hence, this facility. These are very prominent on the other side of the lake over in Mooresville. There's quite a few facilities like this. But we don't have anything like this in Denver. You've got mini storage facilities, quite different than this. These will all have bathrooms and full climate control in each unit, but they are to encourage businesses to move out of your subdivisions and into the, a building set up accordingly. Tall ceilings and stuff like that.
All right.
And Jeff Schwartz is my engineer.
Just to get on, I'm Jeff Schwartz, I'm the engineer for this project. My address is 585 BNT Lane, Taylorsville, North Carolina, 28681.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I'm just here to answer questions.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant or the applicant's engineer?
Only about, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I was looking on the plans here, site plans, that one specifically.
Yes,
Where's
sir.
the closest fire hydrant to this proposed complex? Do we have any idea distance-wise?
It's going to be out on Highway 16, so from the entrance of the development, it's probably about 400 feet to a hydrant, to the development. But the development from Highway 16 back in is probably about 750 feet total from Highway 16.
Because that's about 1,100 feet. Okay.
Do you have a question, Bud?
Just some concern about noise over for the folks over in the Melwood neighborhood.
Yes, so all of these, obviously the access you can see on the design is all a center-facing concept. So all the noise, from overhead doors that may be open during business hours would be facing centrally in the center of that whole subdivision, where it would be the western side. There is a very, very, very large right-of-way for massive high-tension wires, as well as a very large grade differentiation from the rear of the property to the center of that right-of-way. I'm guessing it's probably 30 feet higher, and then it drops probably another 90 or so feet down in grade to homes. So there's a natural buffer of sound on the entire rear of the lot. And then on the south side of the lot, where that would be the closest homes, there also is quite a big grade differentiation where this complex is quite a bit higher than those homes. So again, sound would essentially travel over the homes. So to answer your question in a long-winded answer, I don't believe sound is going to be an issue.
There'll also be a 40-foot vegetated buffer that's pretty dense. It's going to be on that north side and the south side, and that utility easement is 380 feet in width. So,
And how about light pollution? What are you going to do about that?
there's no tall light posts or anything. It's just all wall packs facing inside with full cutoff.
So there'll be no,
No mass lighting. Yeah, no.
on the outside of the building where you're going to be shining into the neighborhood?
Correct.
Into the neighborhood, no.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I will now open the public hearing for SP 2025-1, and first on the list beside the applicant is Jay Flynn.
You going to make it, old man?
Good evening, Commissioners. Jay Flynn, 3890 Davis Road, Maiden, North Carolina. I'm here representing the Denver Fire Department and the men and women that provide fire protection for the Denver Fire District and the nearly 15,000 residents who I answer directly to. And just a couple things on this, Commissioner Carpenter, to your question about fire hydrant, it's 1,142 feet to the furthest point there. 1,000 foot is typically the max, so that is one of the reasons that I'm here speaking to you guys tonight. The fire department controls 50% of our ISO rating. 40% is based on water availability and water supply. 10% falls back on that 911 center and that radio system that you guys talked about earlier. We've worked very hard over the years to get that rating down to a straight 2 for every resident and property owner within the Denver district. That puts all of the folks in Denver within the top 6% of all fire departments nationwide. Again, water is a concern, so that's one of the things I would ask you guys to consider as you consider this case. A fire hydrant closer to that with nearly 60,000 foot of commercial property is going to be a concern for us from a fire protection perspective. That's all I had to say.
So where would we put it? Jeremiah and Josh, and where would we put it, or where would they put it? Where does it go?
So I've asked Jonathan from our Public Utilities Division to come speak to, in more specificity, to the location of the hydrant and any prospective locations for new hydrants.
Thank you, Commissioners. So any prospective hydrants on that system would have to be a private fire line. The county is not going to maintain a line down that driveway onto private property. They are more than welcome to put in a fire line to have those private fire hydrants on the property. We gave them that option as well during the look at this.
What did they say?
It's really a choice up to the fire marshal, the fire departments, and the developers. So you would have to ask them if they plan on putting in a fire line. Like I said, it would have to be that private fire line.
So it would seem to me, for fire service, we should require, not ask, but require that
That's,
Would you know where you want to put it?
As long as we're within 1,000 feet to the furthest point, that's all that matters to me.
that would be, the fire marshal would request that, and then they would put that in the subdivision, so.
I would absolutely agree to having a fire hydrant installed within 1,000 feet of the development, for sure.
Would you?
Because you're going to put water in there anyway.
Oh, yeah,
So,
there's going to be water there
yeah.
anyway, and, you know, the shopping center that's in front, your sheriff's office is there, there's an electrical supply place, there's a restaurant in there. It's going to benefit them as well, so I think everybody's going to benefit from it.
So, how do you want to put this down so that we make sure that it happens and that it's put wherever Jay wants to put it?
So
I'm sorry, Chief Flynn. I apologize, Jay.
I believe you have two options. Again, we don't have many of these types of requests, so forgive me for not having a definitive answer. One thing I know for sure, one option is to have the applicant amend their proposal and basically add that condition themselves on their site plan. With this major site plan hearing, I presume conditions could be added as something we would likely need to seek counsel with the county attorney on, just to confirm and just work our way through that ordinance language. Because again, we've had two of these in my 10+ years here, so they don't come up very often. I believe conditions are appropriate, but we definitely have to confirm that.
So I agree with Jeremiah. I think definitely, since the applicant has said tonight that he would agree to it, I don't know why we couldn't approve it with that condition added on to an approval if that's the way the board wants to go.
So you're good with that?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay. And so you would work with Chief Flynn about where to put it?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And the fire marshal, and you would agree to that when Jeremiah comes to you in writing?
Absolutely.
Well, it's going to be a condition of our.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay,
All right.
I'm
So,
good with that.
All right, next on the list to speak is Rosalind Harrington. You get 3 minutes, I mean.
You talk fast. All right. Hi, my name is Donnie Roberts, 1174 Columbus Trail in the Melwood subdivision. I am president of the Melwood HOA.
Rosalind Harrington, 3076 Tracy Drive, secretary for the board, HOA board.
Okay, so we are requesting that this proposal be denied. We have a few concerns for our community because our community does surround on 3 sides this development. One of the first and biggest things that we are worried about is because of how close this actual area is to some of the homes. I mean, there was a request previous to get rid of the 20-foot buffer. There are 16 homes within the 20-foot Class B buffer that is insufficient and that are right near this. So our biggest concerns are going to be the noise pollution that would come from an automotive repair being completed, R&D for motorsports being conducted, and light pollution from the parking lot that would severely diminish the enjoyability of our common areas and the adjacent homes. We do have questions of where would the disposal of oil or other pollutants be. Part of the area, Melwood surrounds this area as a residential neighborhood to the south, west, and north of the property. To the south, there are 16 homes, like I said, within the 20-foot Class B buffer. That is insufficient, and the county is still waiting for the developer to complete this design. Our mailboxes, playground, and community center are also located to the south and west. To the west is our common area, where our community is slated to have walking trail amenities installed in accordance with the PDR report approved by Lincoln County. And to the north is another common area, a critical area for our community. That is the location of our emergency access road for fire and rescue within our community. When it comes to that emergency access road specifically, drainage from this property is already causing issues with our emergency access road. So our question would be is what would be put in place to mitigate this issue? Additionally, we are also asking for what is the plan for managing increased traffic flow on Business 16, since there already is a ton of traffic in this area, and there is a subdivision going up across the street as well. So there will be more and more traffic within this area. Did I forget anything? Okay. I'm just trying to read as fast as I can all my notes. Lastly, we are very concerned because there are a lot of children within our neighborhood that having a parking lot adjoining any of our common areas could produce a safety risk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Jeremiah, can you, I'm not following where the emergency lane they're referring to is on the plans here.
So the plan development master plan for the Melwood subdivision included, you'll see on the site plan that you're looking at right now, on the north side of this site, you see a road coming from the west and a four-way intersection.
Yep.
Proceeding from that intersection, there's a gravel emergency access drive that goes out towards Business 16.
Yep.
And that connects, that's a gated emergency access drive that connects into the parking lot for the shopping center that's in front of this site, between Highway 16 Business and this site. And so I believe that's what's being alluded to.
Okay. Thank you. All right, next is Dawn Roberts.
That's her.
Okay. All right, having no one else signed up to speak, I will declare the public hearing closed. And I will entertain a motion to approve SP 25-1, Grand Park LLC.
Make a motion to approve SP 2025-1.
All right, we have a motion by,
Does that include the?
that's what I was about to ask you. Does that include?
Yes, I mean, if he's agreed to do it, absolutely.
So we have a motion to approve with the note that they will add a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet of the furthest point of this building. Okay. All right. Does everybody understand the motion? All right. So motion by Commissioner Mullen. Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right. It is 4-1 with Cecina in the no. So that passes. All right. Now we'll move on to the quasi-judicial cases, SUP 528.
This request for a special use permit at 6451 Denver Industrial Park Drive is for the operation of a bulk propane dispensing station in the General Industrial District. The subject property is adjoined by property that's zoned industrial general, transitional residential, and planned development residential. Land uses in this area include a mixture of industrial, business, residential, and civic uses. And this property is located within an area designated by the land use plan as an industrial center. This property is located in the WS4 protected area of the Catawba River Lake Norman water supply watershed. There are some implications for impervious coverage for new development. The applicant has included with their packet their proposed findings of fact, as well as a site plan for their proposed use. So they plan to occupy the existing building that's on this site, and I believe they'll be able to speak better to this than I can, but they have plans to install some tanks on the site, and you have their proposed plan there in your packet. and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have for me.
Anyone have any questions for Jeremiah? All right, is the applicant here? Anything they'd like to add?
Good evening. My name is Vashista Monvardi, 1920 Grove Street, Denver, Colorado. Ironically, I'll be moving to Denver, North Carolina, so can't get away from Denver. I am the owner of Pine Propane. We are a local propane business that will be serving our community members here in Lincoln County and the surrounding areas. Our intention with the property is to have a bulk 30,000 gallon tank where our bobtails will go and deliver propane to residential, commercial, and other construction sites. There is another bulk propane plant already about 0.3 miles away from the current site. And as part of this, we've have a contractor that's done this many times and will be doing fire safety analysis and all the good things that come with this. As of today, we have been approved by the State Department of Agriculture Standards Board for our proposed plan, and the pending item is today's meeting.
Do we have a copy of that letter?
Yes.
Or the approval?
I have it here.
Okay, does staff have that, or?
No, just right
Okay.
here.
All right.
Literally just got it.
Okay. You want to hand that to Josh or Jeremiah, which one of those two right there? Okay, anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Mr. Montevardi?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Did you prepare the proposed findings of fact that were submitted with the
Yes,
application?
I sure did.
And do you wish to incorporate those as part of your
Yes.
testimony? Thank you.
Chief Flynn, any issues with this one? Thank you, sir.
What did he say? He said we're used to it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. All right, if no one has any questions for the applicant, I'll open the public hearing. And having seen no one else signed up to speak, I will declare the public hearing closed. And I will entertain a motion to approve the findings of fact as submitted by the applicant.
So moved, sir.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Cecina. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. I'll entertain a motion to approve SUP 528.
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. It passes. All right. PA 64.
All right, and lastly this evening, plat approval number 64. This is a request from Dreamfinders Homes LLC for approval of a preliminary plat for a residential subdivision with up to 34 lots for single-family homes. As you are probably well aware, a good portion of the site to be developed is located in Catawba County. In fact, most of this project is located in Catawba County. There have been a few changes to that county line recently, and so the applicant has finalized their plan on both sides of the now established county line, and so 34 of the lots would be located in Lincoln County, as you see on the proposed site plan. That site plan shows a network of new roads within that subdivision, 3 points of access, vehicular access to Campground Road, 2 of which are in Lincoln County. And as I alluded to, the bulk of this project is in Catawba County. The 71.24 acre site is located on the north side of Campground Road at that county line, and this property is currently zoned transitional residential. All adjoining parcels in Lincoln County are also zoned transitional residential, and land uses in this area are residential in nature. The Lincoln County Land Use Plan designates this area as single-family neighborhood, which is suitable for single-family homes at densities up to 2 units per acre. The portion of this project in Lincoln County is less than 2 units an acre, and the applicant has indicated that they intend to serve this development, at least the Lincoln County portion, that I know of with community wells and community septic systems. That would be subject to review and approval of fully designed plans with the state. This proposed plan, as presented in your packet, would comply with the UDO subdivision standards for lot dimensions, external access, internal road connectivity, and sidewalks. This parcel is located in the WS4 critical area of the Lake Norman Water Supply watershed, which limits density to 2 units per acre. In addition to the site plan, the applicant submitted their proposed findings of fact. Those are included in your packet for reference, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have for me.
Anyone have any questions for Jeremiah?
Just a couple quick ones. Jeremiah, they're going to have, each house have their individual well and septic, or will they be on a community well?
So my understanding is that each house will be served by a community well. I believe they've indicated 2 locations, both in Catawba County for those wellheads. So if I'm understanding correctly, they're proposing 2 community wells, and that would serve both sides of the development.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any additional questions for Jeremiah? Is the applicant here? If you would, state your name and address.
I'm John Osinga. I live at 13821 Phillips Road, Matthews, North Carolina, and I work for Dreamfinders Homes. To tell you a little bit about Dreamfinders Homes, we're a public home builder. In 2025, we had achieved the Builder of the Year, and we really pride ourselves on the mark of the quality homes that we build. We're across 10 states, built roughly 9,000 homes across the country for individuals, and we're here to be good neighbors and work with the county, and we're excited for this opportunity.
And then I am Will Swearingen, 4610 Kings Garden Road, Raleigh, North Carolina. I am the civil engineer for this project, and I have kind of a quick little slideshow kind of highlighting a couple of the findings of facts in a little bit more detail. So this first slide is just an overview of our site. You can kind of see where the new Lincoln and Catawba County line divides our site. And right now we're kind of talking about the 34 homes that will be on the southern side of this county line in Lincoln County. I don't know if I could flip slides, or if you can just go to the next slide, please. First finding of fact is if it's consistent with all the adopted plans and policies of the county. To the right, you kind of see a little snapshot of the 2043 future land use map, and we have our site kind of highlighted and circled there. It's designated a single-family neighborhood, which kind of what Jeremiah said, allows for up to 2 dwelling units per acre and about 50 to 75% lot coverage. Our site sits at a little under a half acre due to some environmental constraints, units per acre, and then about that 50% mark of lot coverage. If you could please flip to the next slide. The next requirement is if it meets all the UDO requirements for this site, and I think Jeremiah already kind of touched on this. The main applicable ones is a minimum lot width and a minimum lot size, which all 34 lots on our side of the county line meet this requirement. If you could flip to the next one, please. The next finding of fact is, will the subdivision harm any surrounding property use, development, or anything along those lines? And this kind of depicts, we have a 50-foot buffer along Campground Road from our subdivision before the lots begin. So a lot of these homes will be well off of Campground Road and be sufficiently buffered. And then to the southern side of that site, that's going to be used for kind of the community well side. So that's going to have a 100-foot buffer for that community system, and it's all going to be kind of sheltered off kind of back in the woods there. And then for the last one, the design complies with, it meets traffic and any other kind of congestion issues there. So as part of this project, we have been working with NCDOT, and I think Jeremiah already touched on this. We have 3 entrances. We're adding a left turn lane for 2 of these entrances to kind of help mitigate traffic and congestion on Campground Road. And then the other entrance will just be a right in, right out. So I think that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions or anything else the board might have for me or the applicant.
Where on the plat do you intend to put the septic system?
Can you flip to the last slide, please? Maybe just have the plan up there. But it's basically the southern side of the site. I don't know if we want to go back over to the overall site plan, if we could.
Slide 4 right there.
Yeah. Can we flip it back?
Slide 4.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's perfect. So if we're kind of looking at this plan, it's pretty much the far plan left side, and all that kind of gray open space area is where that will be located. And then the two wells, you can kind of see the two circles that are more on the plan right side. They're kind of back behind, and that will serve the community.
So are the roads going to be state maintained or private roads?
Yes, they will be state-maintained
Okay.
roads. We've already gotten preliminary feedback from NCDOT on that. They're in agreement with kind of our layout that we have shown, and we're continuing to work through formal construction documents with them to get their approval.
Have y'all done any tests to make sure that septic system, you can put it there? Or
Yes, we've done preliminary soil samples to kind of get infiltration rate and all those things to kind of give us an idea of where we are. We're doing some additional testing to kind of get that number dialed in. But yes, we've worked with that, and we have the right septic spray field area for kind of the amount of lots that we are proposing.
anyone have any additional questions for the applicant and the engineer?
So I think you've covered it, but just to cover the bases, did you prepare the proposed findings of facts?
Yes, I did.
And do you wish to incorporate those in totality in
Yes.
your?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you.
Okay. So I'll open the public comments.
Thank you.
Yep. We have Jay Flynn signed up to speak.
Good evening again, Commissioners. Jay Flynn, 3890 Davis Road, Maiden, North Carolina, representing the Denver Fire Department and the men and women who serve the Denver Fire District and all the citizens of the Denver Fire District. To not be repetitive, you've already heard my stance on water. Water is important to us. I've actually had a conversation with the engineer before the meeting. Fire hydrants are good. Static water is okay. We can draft from static water. It has to be 30,000 gallons, so that is a concern. There is a hydrant on Campground Road existing at Swift Fox that would get us within that 1,000 foot, but it's a pretty weak hydrant because it's the end of the line. So that's the only thing I really had to put on there. I saw some of the traffic improvements. That's also a concern, making sure we're not stacking folks up and having rear-end collisions any more than we already have on Campground Road. So that seemingly, if DOT's happy with that, that doesn't necessarily make me happy, but we have to deal with what DOT says. But water's the primary concern, making sure if we have a fire in there, we can put it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Paula Finn.
Hi, I'm Paula Finn. I live at 7572 Blackwelder Road. I'm actually a Catawba County resident. I do have a Lincoln County resident that can speak to this if you prefer. Thank you for letting me speak on this. The community that we're looking at is not 34 homes. It is 149 homes with community septic. Nobody can seemingly tell us what the community septic means. This project, again, this packet a little nervous. This packet confirms that all homes access both or across both counties will access a single septic system, and the packet does not tell us where the primary drain fields and repair fields will be located, whether the system is sized for 149 homes, the environmental protections existing in the watershed for critical area, who maintains the system long term, and most importantly, who pays for the system if it needs major repairs. Community septic systems serving this many homes are expensive to maintain when the repair costs can be enormous, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I have a direct question for the board and the applicant. If the homeowners association runs out of money to maintain repairs to this massive system, who becomes responsible? Is it the county? Is it the homeowners? Is it a private utility, or none at all? This packet does not show any financial assurance, reserve requirements, or contingency plans if the system fails. Right now, there is no backup plan. And approving this system this large puts surrounding wells, streams, and properties at risk. This being in a watershed critical area, this packet states that it's in the the WS4 critical area, Catawba County, or Catawba Lake Norman watershed. These regulations exist because what happens on the land affects the drinking water for thousands of residents. Road access. This packet shows that there are some turning lanes into the development, but it does not have a full impact study. There's just the 2 committed turn lanes, the shoulder improvements, or the developer-funded road upgrades. Campground Road already has narrow shoulders, blind curves, heavy school traffic, and adding 149 homes will increase the safety in this area as well. And let's not talk about having to get onto Highway 16. The request for consideration we'd like for you to consider individual septic systems and well systems in this area, which is compliant, or which is most found in rural areas. Given the risk, I respectfully ask that the board require the developer to evaluate individual septic systems in the Lincoln County portion instead of relying on multi-county community system. The individual systems localize the risk, provide homeowners direct responsibilities, reduce the impact of watershed, eliminate costly county liability, and prevent a single large system failure affecting 149 homes. We're not opposed to the development. We're just asking that you delay this until we have more information on the community septic system. 149 homes going into one area. It's not 34 homes. And to my knowledge, there's nothing in this area similar to this.
So you understand that we can only talk about 34 homes?
I do. I just want to make sure you understand that the septic system that's in the Lincoln County side is not just for 34 homes. It is going to have the waste for 149 homes going there. And your wells are now in Catawba County, and there's only 2 of them for 149 homes. Look at what happened with Pebble Bay and the challenges they have with their septic, or their community wells.
Yes, ma'am. But understand that
Yes.
we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place when Catawba County said, yeah, go right ahead. And then
It hasn't been finally approved through
oh,
them.
they haven't said anything yet.
That is at the end of December. Just so you know, the community, neighborhood community board meets at the end of December to give final approval for this development.
I'm gonna try to get you some answers.
So just so you know, again, we wanted to make sure you knew that it's not 34 homes going to this community septic.
We
It is
understand.
149.
We understand that, believe me.
And the traffic on Campground Road, I mean, how many accidents are there every week? I
Yes,
appreciate
ma'am.
your consideration. And again, we're not opposed to development. We're just asking for
Jonathan,
delay.
can you give us some information on how a septic system of this magnitude will work, and anything of that nature that you might be able to add to this? I know we're putting you on the spot here, sorry.
We've been trying to get answers for months.
I'll try and give some answers. I don't know what specific system they're using. I do know they're going through Aqua, which is a major water and sewer provider throughout North Carolina. They do a lot of smaller systems, so it is not the typical HOA system, something like you might see for Lincoln County. Ranger Island comes to mind. They did a community septic system for their townhouses. But I don't know what specific system. Public Utilities has been hands-off because we are not providing water or sewer for this development. So systems can range from something like a pump and haul system, where you would be treating maybe some of the water and then pumping the rest of it and hauling it off-site, to on-site systems that are sized appropriately for the homes, where you would have an underground system that puts it back into the groundwater. It should be sufficiently away from the lake to not interfere with any of the lake's natural processes, but without seeing the actual technical version
and the actual plans on that, I'm as in the dark as you guys are.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So we really don't have a whole lot of answers about septic. I thought, wrongfully so, that each lot of our 34 was going to have their own septic system. Where'd they go? Am I incorrect?
Yes.
So I understood the community water.
You read the note right there.
Yeah, well, your eyes are better than mine. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd recommend that we postpone or hold off on this until we find out a little bit more. Maybe Jonathan can find out a little more information about what it is that they're going to do and how they're going to do and how this is going to work and whether our water folks feel like it's comfortable about moving forward.
This would be more environmental, would it not? Environmental instead of our water folks.
Yep.
Chairman, if I may, just seeking clarification on the additional information we're looking for. You're desiring clarification on the proposed design of the system as well as maintenance responsibilities to address.
Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to be responsible to address the lady's question? If there's a failure, who's going to pick up the tab?
Okay.
So,
Does the applicant have that answer?
Yes. Yeah, so in partnership with Aqua, they would own and operate that and work with HOA to kind of ensure that system is working properly throughout time. So that's an agreement that we're getting into place with Aqua to kind of take over that system once it gets built and own and operate that for perpetuity.
yeah. So that agreement's not in place yet?
Correct. No, it's not in place yet.
Okay.
So I'll renew my motion to postpone this till January meeting.
Okay. So we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina to postpone. First, let me do this. Let me close the public hearing. Having no one else signed up to speak, I will close the public hearing. And we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina to postpone until the second meeting in January. Any further discussion? All right. Go ahead.
Yes. If we're gonna postpone it, can we postpone it and get the information that we're so desire? Is that why we're postponing?
That's why I postpone it, yeah.
Okay, for the
Can y'all bring
septic system.
Can y'all get that information to Jeremiah so we can review that? And we'll,
And the information is clearly the agreement in place with Aqua.
that's correct. Yes.
And and in that information, can you also include the type of treatment system that's going to be serving as the community system? Because I know there's multiple systems out there, so we'd like to know like the type of treatment system that's going to be utilized.
That's going to be, we'll put that the first meeting in January, which.
Just you want the agreement with Aqua like already executed, or just an example? In my mind, I think it might be a little bit cart before the horse. I don't think we want to have an agreement without, essentially the next step. But we could provide an example.
I think the intent is so that this board understands who is going to ultimately be responsible for this.
Okay.
Because if it's not upkept, guess who everyone comes to?
Understood.
So it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be executed, but I believe the board would like to see it just for some reassurance of that someone will be responsible for taking care of it. Because ultimately, the builders aren't going to be taking care of it in 30 years. So.
All right. No, understood. Thank you for clarification.
Thank you. Okay, so now, back to Commissioner Cecina's motion that we will table this until the first meeting in January. And at that time, or before that time, we're expecting to see a sample agreement and some more clarification. Everybody understand that motion? Any further discussion? All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. PA 64 has been tabled. All right, we'll move on to item 6, sole source purchase of 11 AWE computers for Lincoln County Public Library and AWE Learning. Ms. Jennifer Sackett.
Commissioners,
Commissioners. I'm here this evening for sole source approval for 11 AWE children's computers. These are computers that come with educational software that corresponds to curriculum, educational outcomes. It services preschool all the way up to 12th grade. Some of the computers will be geared more towards the lower end, but they now allow us to put the software on both. So we are looking for approval. The ones we have currently have aged out according to the technology plan of the county. This is budgeted in the capital improvement plan for this year.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions? Ms. Sackett? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Patton. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, it passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 7, acceptance of funding, Lincoln Tourism and Development Authority. Josh.
Good evening, Commissioners. As many of you are aware, there's work continually going on with the historic courthouse in downtown Lincoln that the county still owns the property. And we have been working diligently with the project team to help bring funding to the project where we can. Many of the project elements on the grounds, including site furniture, lighting, and bike racks and that sort of thing, is on the periphery of the project, and so we have sought funding from the Lincoln Tourism and Development Authority. Funding from this agency comes from the hotel occupancy tax that in the city of Lincoln has a 3% rate that generates revenue that goes to projects that help bring tourism downtown and to the city of Lincoln overall. We have been graciously awarded $63,475 for site furniture, and this needs your approval so that we can add it to the project. If it is approved, Finance Director Ms. Rios will bring a budget amendment to add that to the project so that we can move forward with those purchases. I've included a copy of that presentation to the Tourism and Development Authority in your packet just so you have it for context.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Josh? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept funding, Lincoln County Tourism and Development Authority.
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you, Board. Amendment to Bethel Booster Pump Station Relocation Project. Jonathan.
Thank you, Commissioners. So I'm here to bring 2 amendments before you. The first one will be the Bethel Booster Pump Station. This is, of course, the relocation of our Bethel Booster Pump Station project. This amendment covers some additional engineering design and survey work for the Bethel Booster Pump Station. As we were going through the project and going through the routing of the water line, that will serve as part of this project. We were made aware of some additional utilities that were up along the roadway. So we have opted, in working with the school system, to move the water line back onto that their maintenance lot in the grassed area, to avoid some trees and those other utilities. This has caused us to need additional underground surveying for utilities in those areas, and additional surveying and design of that water line. This amendment is for $42,780. This is, of course, part of our state funding of the $10 million that we got in 2023. Do you guys have any questions on that?
Anyone have any questions for Jonathan? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the amendment to Bethel Booster Pump Station Relocation Project Engineering Design Bidding and Construction Administration Contract.
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Cena. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, it is approved. All right, number 9, Jonathan.
So the second one I have for you today is a amendment to our engineering contract for the disinfection system replacement at our water treatment facility. This amendment will include funding for the construction admin, construction observation services that Black and Beach will provide during the construction of this project. This project is, of course, right now out to bid. The bid closes and we have a bid opening on Thursday of this week. So we will know more about how much that's going to cost us construction-wise. This is a project that is probably going to be over the budget because the budget was looked at many, many years ago. This is unfortunately a project that has stalled for a number of years. But the construction phase services is going to be $488,795. This is a increased budget for these construction phase services because we are doing some stuff in the treatment facility that needs additional electrical inspections and special inspections there as we build those new tanks. Is there any questions on this one?
Anyone have any questions?
Now, how long's this project been going on? You said they've been delays or?
So it was in design, in preliminary design. So they were doing modeling and looking at different costs of different systems. When I first came to the county 3 years ago in 2021. So that's 4 years ago. This project has seen delays when we were looking at the fluoride system. We looked at putting it in this project if we were going to continue that and stuff like that. So through the years, this project has seen some delays that has kept it off of being able to be bid. So we are in very need of this project at the at the water treatment plant. Our system right now is a MIOX generation system, and we are running on eBay parts and specialty created parts for that system.
So if we approve this, do you have a goal or a date that you've set to make this thing go live so that you can get this rolling forward?
So the contract, I believe, is a year-long contract. It shouldn't take that long to put it in place, but I believe we gave the contractors a year to construct the facilities.
Okay. You said it bids Thursday?
The bid opening is Thursday.
Okay. All right, anyone have any additional questions for Jonathan? I'll entertain a motion to approve amendment in engineering contract.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Motion by Commissioner Carpenter. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, it passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. All right. John Henry, Historic Courthouse update. Thank you, sir. Good evening, Commissioners. As requested, I've got a historic courthouse update for y'all. What you're looking at is a landscape plan on this slide. If I can figure out how to work this, I will use the pointer on it. So last week, we had to have some trees removed. One, to accommodate an ADA sidewalk, and two, they were not in very good shape and we're going to have to come out within the next couple of years. So it was fine. We decided to go ahead and take those trees. And those trees are down here on the south side. It was an elm and I believe a birch. We also had the other trees on the property trimmed up and assessed. We had some mistletoe removed out of a couple of the trees, and I think for the future we're looking pretty good on that. A couple of things I want to point out on this landscape plan that people have been asking questions about. One, this area right here, that's where the Ben Lincoln Monument is going. The second area right here, that is where all of the veterans monuments will be replaced. I'm going to slide through some pictures for you. This is a west side view. You're looking at the concrete that has been placed for the new sidewalks. We were hoping to have some more in place last week, but some weather changed those plans. This is a upper view or overhead view from the west side, just showing this picture. You're seeing a footer for the seat wall. Those seat walls have been they were laid last week. All they've got to do is put the capstones on those. You're seeing a picture of the monument that stayed in place. The electricians are running some new power feeds around the property. This is our south side. This is towards local routes and the church. You can see we've got the concrete steps in. We've got another section to pour. You also see another footer there for the another seat wall that's going on that side. Then the sidewalk that connects into the building. And this is another picture from the south side, just standing on the porch of the building. This is an east side view. You see the tax office on the picture on your right. Once again, there's a picture of the seat wall that's being laid. Footers are already poured. This area right here is a sidewalk that has steps going off the east side of the property, and there's another one on the other side of the tax going to the tax office. This is just an overhead view. You can see the seat wall there. Some more east side pictures. We had a lot of activity when I was over there that day. The clock's still there. And this area right here, this is your monument area for the veterans monuments. Does anybody have any questions up to this point? This is the ground level east side. I'm standing where the veterans monuments are going. North side, this is the area where we're creating for the food trucks. The driveway that was there will stay. You also have your seating area. This is a seat wall footer again. That's in place. There'll be a patio out there. People can go sit, eat, lunch, whatever they want to do. The sidewalk goes down through here, and then you've got the horseshoe on the north side, and that's where we had to take the trees out to accommodate that. So we had a couple of options. In order to remain ADA compliant, that's why we had to take those trees, so we could lower that elevation that you can see. There's a real deep cut right there. So again, the north side, you can see that cut right here. That's about a 12-inch elevation change from where the trees were down to the top of the sidewalk.
So does anybody have any questions?
John, let's talk about one additional point. So obviously we had to remove some trees due to damage, disease, and location. But they are putting back.
Yes. Talking with the arborist on site that day, I have a contact for a tree farm in Maiden. I can get 3, 4, 5-inch caliper tree and put back in that place. So it'll have some height to it, something that can grow in. We're going to check with our landscape architect, see what she recommends putting back there.
So what's going on currently on the inside?
On the inside is pretty much done. The electricians have some stuff to finish up. HVAC and the plumbing are complete. Other than that, well, we've got a couple HVAC systems we've got to set. We're waiting on some concrete. Other than that, there's not a lot going. That's all we did for the inside. Just enough HVAC to keep the building conditioned while it's unoccupied, and a completely new electric system up to a switch gear. We didn't run any panels throughout the building because we didn't know what the layout of the tenants would be. So, but everything's there for everybody to get what they need. We got the new water line inside. We got the new fire suppression line inside. They've done some furring of the plaster walls up on the second floor in the grand courtroom, and very little drywall work. They did some stuff on the third floor mezzanines just for fall protection, but that we've not done a lot inside. We didn't have the money to be able to do that.
So when do you think they'll finish up outside?
Outside will be finished by March.
Go ahead.
What about the veterans pouring concrete over there? I know you'd said that was going to happen a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think it's happened.
It's not happened yet. It was supposed to happen last week. You're talking about the Academy Street project, yeah. So we met, looked at a couple of different stamp options for the concrete. They were getting those in. They're supposed to pour last week. It didn't happen. I'm trying to get an answer on that right now.
Okay, let me pass to you two. Shanklin Walkway.
We are meeting out there, I think, Wednesday with Jennifer and Trevor from Co-op. We'll walk that trail, go through them. I'm waiting on a price from contractors to make that, take it back to a natural trail.
Thank you. Do you want any of the what are those ladies called? The gardeners, the master gardeners there?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Any other questions for John in regards to the historic courthouse? All right. Thank you for that update, John. We'll move on to the sheriff's training facility.
So we discussed this briefly in a workshop. We have a little over $2 million budgeted for this project. I have an estimate for a complete turnkey on this of about $6.3 million. This would be the range, the house, or the range master's building, the shooting tower, and a parking lot. We had discussed previously about making this a phase project, and we never determined exactly how many phases we would do. I think we talked about 3 or 4, but it was never determined. So I would like the commission to make a decision on whether we're going to do this all in one phase or if we're going to phase this project, because I need to let the general contractor know how to submit his GMP.
My goal would be to do it all in one shot so we don't incur higher costs as we move down the line. The manager and I have talked about funding for it on a couple different occasions, as well as Commissioner Carpenter. And I think at the next work session, we ought to really spend some time looking at that and where we would get the money from, because I have a pretty good idea what we're going to do. But my goal would be to get it done in one fatal swoop so that costs don't go up dramatically, as they tend to do on a project like this.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Commissioner Cena, I agree. You know, again, back when we first started this project, how many months ago, John? Probably about 6.
About 18 months
18
or
months
better.
ago. Looking at the project, we allocated some SCIF funds and everything to have a little over a $2 million budget. But then as this progressed and we looked at what would be the long-term plan, we did assign additional money to this project as anticipation, for knowing that cost increases, knowing to expand the project, to make sure the board was ready if they wanted to go. But my recommendation would be to go ahead and execute this as one single phase, because at this point in time, the longer we do debate on it about this, the costs continue to go up in some areas. So I think now's the time to go ahead and put this project in as full and go ahead and move on it as a single project. We'll consider it. I mean, take an action on approving the project to move forward a single phase and not to exceed what John has stated. And I think that way we can move forward.
Well, then I'll make the motion that we move forward with a single phase and not to exceed $6.2 million.
Okay, so with the cost, you're not really approving the cost tonight because this is a construction manager at risk project. So I'll have to bring back a guaranteed maximum price from the general contractor to y'all for approval. But I will keep it under this 6.3 with them. Just want to make that clear.
Then I'll make the motion that we go ahead and do one phase, period.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be the, yeah.
We go with that?
So we have a motion to complete the sheriff's training facility in one phase. Everybody understand the motion? Any further discussion? All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you,
That'll be
Commissioners.
done in one phase. All right. On item number 12, ordinance amending Chapter 92 exotic animals of the Lincoln County Code of Ordinances. Ms. Gilbert.
All right,
And
Commissioners.
this is for review only?
Correct. So tonight, I bring to you the fourth version of the exotic animal ordinance. This is a combination of all the things we have worked on in the past. Jana and I have spent a lot of time on this. I know Commissioner Carpenter has been very involved. Our emergency services director, our health director have all had input in this. So what this ordinance does is it bans all exotic animals that are not present and registered as of October 1st, 2025, and requires that those who are present to be registered and permitted again, and go through annual inspections and re-registration. It does allow grandfathering of the number of animals for the large animals that are easily identifiable by our staff. Those are going to be the large mammals. Those are going to be crocodiles and those types of things. The things that are not easily identifiable are the snakes, the spiders, those types of things that our staff is not trained or qualified to identify, whether that's the same snake that was there last year. So those types of animals are restricted to the number, where the other is restricted to the specific animal. So there are large lists. I know there have been some questions. There have been some questions about some of the verbiage in here. I know I talked to Jana earlier today. I know the plan is she is going to suggest, and we've talked about removing iguanas from the venomous reptile. We are also, there's been questions about white mice. The purpose of the language in that section, 92.12.4B, exempted animals, it's all domesticated races of rats and mice. The examples in the parentheses are the white or albino trained or laboratory reared. It is not only white or albino, those are examples, but it is domesticated races of rats and mice. So if you can buy them in a store, They are considered domesticated and they are permitted. They are not, they are exempted from this ordinance. I think we all know there will be ones that we didn't think of, and those will be dealt with as they appear. So there are criminal violations. That's why there is no vote. This is only for submission. It will need to be submitted again at the next meeting for a vote, and that vote would require a unanimous vote of all 5 members. If that does not happen, then it will be submitted again at the next meeting. So the first meeting in January. And then at that meeting, it could pass by a majority. But it will require unanimous at the first vote. So any questions about the substance of the ordinance or any parts of the ordinance? Okay.
Oh, yeah, thanks. On page, let's see, 4 and 5, I believe. Any owner or possessor of an exotic animal that is only transporting the exotic animal through Lincoln County, on, shall be required to notify Lincoln County Animal Services of their presence within the county. So if somebody's passing through Lincoln County, they have to stop, call Animal Services. How on earth is that going to be enforced? That is absolutely impossible. If I get in my car and ride from Lincoln to Raleigh, I promise you, I don't look at every county ordinance between here and there as the one I can take with me, whether my dog's allowed in Catawba County or not. You know, nobody does that. So how would we even enforce that?
That's a good question.
I thought that transporting through the county, we'd said it was not required. If they're transporting it, like, through
They
the
don't
county,
have to have a
or-
permit.
Right, or like, if Jesse's transporting his stuff wherever, okay.
We've seen it.
Do not have to have
I've seen this in ordinances, in other places. I've seen this in ordinances in other places, and then in some, they do not require it. If you want to remove it, that is perfectly fine.
I mean, it's unenforceable. You know, there's no way to manage that. So, just me personally, if it's going to be in there, it ought to be something that's manageable, and that's not.
So you're requesting to
You want it
remove that
removed?
section removed from,
Yeah, I mean, I just have to be honest with you. I don't agree with the ordinance anyway, because if throughout that ordinance, it uses the term inherently dangerous. Well, if you look at the definition of that, it's something that's dangerous and there's really nothing you can do about it. Just by its very nature, it's dangerous. Where if all these animals are inherently dangerous, then what's the difference between the ones that's already here and the ones that we're trying to prevent from coming? Either they're dangerous or they're not dangerous. If they're dangerous, then I think we owe it to our citizens to ban all of them. That's just my perspective. I think our DSS employees, our health department employees, law enforcement, fire, all the folks that go into these houses, we should protect them as we can.
And Alex, the only thing is that we have 6 of our citizens, 6, who have followed the rules from
I
day
understand.
one. Some of them even followed the rules before they even moved into this county. So those are the ones that I think that we need to exempt and allow to keep what they have here.
I understand
Because,
that, but it makes it look like if you're willing to pay, then you can stay.
well, you know, it ain't Motel 6.
I know.
So, but, I mean, they're here and they're abiding by the rules that are currently in place. Why punish them?
okay, hold on, just, so, hold on, ma'am. We're having conversation, and then there will be public comments. If you're signed up to speak, you'll be given your time, okay? So is there anything else you'd like to add? Okay. Alex, anything else you'd like to add?
I'm good.
Okay.
Can I speak briefly to the transportation thing? I'm not involved in a lot of the development of this ordinance, so let me say that as preference. But I think the intent of this, and Megan, really correct me, but, looking at this sometimes, it's really, we have a lot of laws, like you said, that are local ordinances that people are not aware of, that they don't follow because really they don't know. I think this is really to kind of put something in language to have it on record where if someone is transporting an inherently dangerous animal and there is an event where that animal, now, like say an automobile collision or something where those animals are released and there's risk that's posed to people, that there's something in there that's trying to track, at least that acknowledging that we're trying to be mindful of their presence. But to your point is, this is really not enforceable because we're not going to know and they're not going to know. But I'm just saying, I think that was a general intent, even though sometimes those intents, really don't have a lot of structure to them because the practicality of enforcement really isn't there.
Well, it only applies to the people who are exempt under Section A. So it's not the people who own venomous snakes that live in Iredell County transporting. It's the people who are the veterinary clinics, the institutions licensed under USDA. It's the AZA and the ZAA institutions, law enforcement officers, those types of things. That probably needs to come out, but not including that portion. But it's those people that are transporting them through Lincoln County, like throughout the county from one side to the other. Say someone is a USDA approved facility and they have monkeys. So say the facility in Cleveland County that is USDA licensed, they have large monkeys. They're transporting through to the other side of Lincoln County for something. That it would be more those people. It's not the people who are already owners of, just a regular Joe owner of a exotic animal.
It says any owner or possessor of an exotic animal.
Under the reporting.
Under subsection A of this section.
So one more question. So if this ordinance passes, we permit, thank you, keeping me straight.
I can hear you down here.
This ordinance passes, we grandfather folks, something happens. How is the county not liable?
Because we're not liable for what individuals do on their private properties.
But we endorsed it as a county. We've endorsed it, authorizing it. It seems to me, people sue anybody for anything anyway, but it seems like there would be some liability there if we endorse that, having those animals here.
You could also argue that it's an endorsement if you just fail to do anything and don't have any restrictions in place.
I agree.
So the county can't be held liable for what someone does on their private property.
And for that matter, we allow certain elements of these animals to exist now in the current ordinance. So, by that argument, we would be liable at this point, but we're not. Like Megan said, they still have their private responsibility.
And I've read through, and I may have missed parts of it because it's pretty darn lengthy, and I read it 4 or 5 times. Or not it 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 generations of this. Did we put in there about Jenna being responsible for notifying the 911 center of where these are?
So in section 2 of the ordinance, it says the Animal Services Director shall be required to notify the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office and the 911 Communication Center of all registered exotic animals registered, and those parties shall note the registration within the CAD system.
Thank you so much. That's what started this thing to begin with 4 years ago.
I put that in there just for you.
Thank you, ma'am. I greatly appreciate that.
So are you going to try to edit section C?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else have anything before we open up public comment? Okay. Y'all good on this side? All right. At this time, we will open up public comment. Yes, sir.
We have item 13 as the pay plan for EMS services. Before we go to public comments, would you like?
We've got public comments for this animal ordinance.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So, oh, you're good. So we've got 5 people signed up to speak. So we'll give you, speaking for an individual, you get 3 minutes. Speaking for a group, you get 5, and the group needs to be present. First on the list is Jesse Putnam.
Jesse Putnam, 425 Kent Street. First, I want to say under public comment and guidance, it doesn't say anything about how many makes a group or that they have to be present right here on your website. So if my group could stand.
Well, I'll go ahead and say this.
Let's hear it.
If those are standing up, are signed up to speak, you're speaking for that group, they are forfeiting their right to speak.
Super.
Okay?
The last time you said I couldn't when I had 2 people stand.
So if those 2 right there that stood up in your group are signed up to speak, they are forfeiting their right to public comment. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You got
last
5
time,
minutes.
All right,
Go.
let's go. So I don't have anything written for this. And the way y'all bickered and argued, and Megan didn't know which was what, and you didn't know which was what, I really don't know what to say at this point. But I know you're passing this. It's too late. I know. So my question there is, and you're not going to answer that either, I mean, who wants this? Nobody wants this. Everybody that shows up is against it. Nobody wants it except you. So that leads me to think, what are you benefiting from? I mean, it looks to me and the people on social media that all y'all want to do is give every man, woman, and child in Lincoln County a bar and a condominium. The language in this is redundant because it was copied and pasted from over many counties, obviously. So I'm going to be able to poke holes in this. I've already figured it out. Also, you bottleneck me with the number of animals I can have. So in my business, I breed. So what happens when you say, all right, we're going to count your numbers when you're out of breeding season and you don't have a lot of babies? Okay, and then everything has babies. Oh, now I'm illegal. So you're bottlenecking me. So I'll have grounds for an injunction there. Damn it. I think this is dirty. I think y'all are doing whatever you want. I think you're overreaching, and I think everybody that I've ever talked to past the exotic keepers think you're overreaching. I had a lot to say, and like I said, I came up here with nothing in writing. I was just going to talk. I will say that it feels like this is personal, that y'all are doing this for some other agenda, some corporation that said, okay, we'll give you this money because y'all want to spend tons of money in Lincoln County on these ugly buildings and these bars on every corner. So, and there's like, we'll get rid of the animals. I don't know who's doing it. I don't care. So that makes it personal. So what I want to do next is personal. When this passes, you are going to see me at every public event y'all do. I'm going to make you hate your job. I'm going to come after y'all in every legal way possible. I'm going to shit on everything you say, everything you do. You are going to smell me on your necks. I've got time. I don't do a lot. I work with my animals. I can do this too. So, yeah, that is a, without saying anything, I'm doing anything illegal, I'm not, but that is a threat. So, that's all I got.
All right, next, Karen Bell.
My name is Karen Bell. I live at 4873 Mountain View Lane in Maiden, North Carolina.
And I do appreciate the important position that you all have. But I don't understand how you can pass $15 million on a facility that will prolong the life and protect unwanted and abandoned cats and dogs. And then you turn around and you propose an ordinance that is going to take away or hinder the opportunity for people that have a desire to care for and enjoy in a positive way, and they're responsible in what they do, but unusual and unique animals that were created by Yahweh. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can just with no reason to do this. It's been asked of you all why you're doing this, and there's been no answers. There's been no incidences in Lincoln County that we know of. So what are the reasons that you would just arbitrarily come up and want to hinder and harm just the people? This is their constitutional right to do what they want on their own property. They're being responsible, okay? So I just asked you, and I ask that you pray before you vote on this matter for God's wisdom in making the right decision before you impact the livelihood and these people's lives. So I just ask that you consider that, okay? And thank you.
Thank you. Next, Gunny Hall.
So Gunny Hole, 319 North Poplar Street in Lincoln. So, when somebody's taken supposedly to court or whatever, it's because they're supposed to be an injured party. Many times there's not an injured party, but yet we've got so many laws upon redundant laws, then you're trying to make somebody a criminal without anything there. And regardless of what people's personal interest is, I don't call it painting a paint when you take a bucket and throw it in a wall, but that kind of seems like the condition of some people, and if they want to pay for that and call it art, then that's fine too. But when we as society want to do the same thing to people, and I've seen it personally, where you have so many laws, and we got laws here in Lincoln County that's so old, you'd laugh if you went back and looked to see what we actually still have on the books. But if you have someone that you don't like, then those that are not a cop, but they're a law enforcement, and to make sure that's clear is, it's supposed to be you're concerned about peace. You're concerned about the welfare of your fellow man, rather than you wanting to slap somebody on the hand or whatever. And there's been times where people, took a flashlight, knocked out lights or whatever to find a charge to pull somebody over or whatever. So we don't need to be giving people this kind of thing where you make things that don't make sense, as saying you're driving through the county and you got a call. Who are you going to use that on? You're just going to use it on somebody you don't like. So who's been the injured to bring all these up? And why and what is the purpose for this? And it's going to cause more problems to somebody that you're going to ask to enforce all of this. And it seems like it is somebody you don't like. But then also I want to bring it clear that you nor I, regardless what you want to think and say by some scientists or whatever, we're not animals. We're not animals, and we're not primates. You can say, well, these people, human beings, are exempted, and that's one thing that irritates me, that I'm not an atheist. I'm not an evolutionist. So you're not going to call me by these terms. That's not what this country was founded on, being a primate or an animal. No, each human being was created by Yahweh from the dust of the earth. So we're not as the other animals that do not have a soul. A human being has a soul. And so when you prosecute someone that has done nothing wrong, and yet you want to harm them, then you got a problem, and you're going to end up having a problem with Yahweh. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Sydney Wolf.
Good evening, y'all. Sydney Wolf for Fancy Mouse Breeders Association and Exotic Rodent Keepers Association. Y'all have my address on file. I'm going to decline to put it out there for safety purposes because there's a lot of weird eco-terrorist animal rights people out there who don't like people like me. Because I raise mice, as y'all know, specifically for medical purposes. I am the backup in case laboratories have catastrophic events. Beyond that, what I do on my personal land isn't y'all's business as long as I'm following the laws that are there. Y'all should not be making laws about what I do in my household. Anyway, I didn't think y'all could make this animal ordinance any worse, but here we are. The level of sheer ignorance on display in this ordinance is absolutely shameful. Whoever was writing it, Megan and Jana, y'all should go home and crack a textbook, because this is sad. Why the ban on raising animals in a county that's over 50% rural with 50,000 acres of farmland? Why do you care so much about what type and color of animals we keep on our land? Which, by the way, if you didn't know, your wording actually does make it to where only white, laboratory, or trained mice would be allowed. You need to change the wording on that. You can barely keep up with the roads and the crime, and you're worried about our damn pets. What's next? An ordinance telling us what type of shoes we can wear on what day? What type of flowers I can have in my garden? Are my gun rights next because they're too scary to you? Scary like a scorpion or a snake or a crocodile? We've repeatedly tried to work with y'all for a mutually beneficial resolution, yet you refuse. Which makes me wonder, just like Jesse, who's putting money in your pockets to push this nonsense? We have less than 100,000 residents in Lincoln County, and a tiny fraction of us own exotics. Who is pushing this through y'all? Who is up your butts telling you ban these exotics? Is it a developer? Is it somebody putting money in each of y'all's pockets? Now we're wondering, and a couple Freedom of Information Act requests might tell us. Clearly that money matters a whole lot more than the personal freedoms of your constituents. Y'all need to get back to doing what you're doing to protect the personal freedoms of your constituents instead of being up our ass about our pets.
All right. Next, Elizabeth Cassie.
Hey y'all, I'm Elizabeth Castley. Can I also decline to give my address? Can I give it to you personally because I have some protection orders out against me? I am from out of town, and I know you're not interested in hearing from me because I'm not a resident of Lincoln County. But as you stated in a previous hearing about this, you've pulled from other counties' existing ordinances. So as a resident of North Carolina, I am concerned about this type of legislation spreading. And I'm also concerned about my friends and small businesses that operate here. 3 minutes is not enough to really address anything in your proposal. And none of you were willing to answer my questions via email, so here I am. I hope that you're engaging with your residents on this issue. There are provisions in this document that are unenforceable, as Alex noted. And others that are so ambiguous they're left open to gross misinterpretation and will certainly lead to headaches, heartbreaks, and lawsuits. As we've already seen in other places with similar ordinances, where decades-old legally kept family pets were killed before anyone had a chance to clear up the misunderstanding. This is a devastating outcome, and I hope we can all agree it's a good reason to tread carefully with this plan. You have hilariously misclassified a leaf-eating lizard as a dangerous venomous reptile, and for some reason you've included an exemption for a species that's been federally prohibited to keep since 1865. Humans. I don't trust someone making mistakes like this to write good legislation. And I really hope you take this back to the drawing board with the help of the exotic animal community to make better choices. Your proposed ordinance lists its purpose to protect the general public from the inherent risk posed by dangerous exotic animals. But the way it's written, it looks like it's mostly a way to extract money from your residents who keep non-traditional pets and to restrict their businesses. Why do we need to treat our exotic animals any different than dogs, cats, or horses? On what grounds do you even claim these animals are more dangerous than ones not on the ban? A report published this year from the National Institute of Health studying animal-related fatalities, if this is a safety issue, that over 85% of animal-related deaths are from flying, stinging insects, horses, cows, and dogs. It would be preposterous to propose a ban on horses and dogs, despite their inherent risk. We just consider that a personal choice. If there's a problem with a dog, we have a policy in place to handle it on a case-by-case basis. Treating the rest of our pets this way would be simple, effective, and easy to enforce for your local law enforcement. That would allow your citizens their constitutionally guaranteed freedoms while meeting the goals listed in your proposal. I would like to know what happened here in Lincoln County that made the already existing North Carolina state laws insufficient. It sounds like the residents were blindsided by this proposal and have been trying to work with you on a reasonable approach. And I also read an article about rabies.
Thank you, ma'am. 3 minutes.
Your cats are more dangerous than these pets.
All right. So we have no one else signed up to speak, so we're closing that public comments, and we're moving on to item number 13, EMS pay plan. Carr and David? That's fine. Okay.
If you need me down there with you, Carr, or am I okay right here? If you need my support, I'm there.
Gotcha. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners of the Board. Thank you for the opportunity to kind of talk about the proposed EMS pay plan, which we had discussed a few weeks ago during the workshop. And, you know, kind of as we really discussed, part of the emphasis for this is just staffing shortages in our EMS system, which is a problem, you know, across North Carolina, and candidly, it's a nationwide problem. As we sit here, you know, our goal is to staff 8 ambulances during the daytime, 6 ambulances at night with our staffing structure, and that requires at a minimum 56 providers. And right now, I believe we're sitting at 39, so we're about a 30% staffing deficit. While compensation is not the only thing to build back a strong EMS system, it certainly is a component, and that's where we kind of brought forward this plan that takes kind of a true, I guess, structured approach to try to be market competitive with our neighbors, where we're currently about 8% below starting pay, in particular for paramedics. Incentivize or better incentivize EMTs and AEMTs to move on to paramedic curriculum. And as we kind of discussed, you're talking about 240 hours to earn the certification as an EMT, you know, 1,000 up to 1,700 hours to earn paramedic certification. So certainly a large jump, and is a challenge as we try to candidly create more paramedics and not just be shuffling them around, and really set forth a predictable compensation structure that provides upward mobility. And so the plan that we put forward essentially moves our paramedics, and is really based on the paramedic, because that's where we're in the, you know, have the largest challenges, in particular because of alternative medical practice options for paramedics, you know, working MIH programs at the hospitals, doctors' offices, ERs, and so that certainly has increased the demand for these skill sets. And so what our proposal does is it moves the paramedic from a grade 16 to a grade 18, and then we took the grade 18 and we split it into 4 different levels. And with each one of those levels, basically, there's a $2 difference, so that, and the level that you will be placed at is based on some objective criteria. And the first is, you know, if as a paramedic, if you're a North Carolina paramedic, you're in level 1. If you are a National Register paramedic or have an associate's degree, that would promote you to a level 2, which again is about a $4 difference from the bottom of level 1 to the bottom of level 2. And then level 3, we add in basically having National Register paramedic and a minimum of a 2-year degree. And then level 4, which again bumps up another $4, is bachelor's degree at the National Registry. So essentially what we've done by moving this is move the starting salary from $26.22, I believe, to $26.70. But then provided, again, really put the emphasis on providers being able to, go out, attain additional training, additional education that benefits the system overall, and be able to progress up through that system. The other piece within each level is that we put a 50-cent increase per year, just basically 4 steps to essentially compensate candidly for service to maintain our retention rate. And so a provider, while they will be at the first step in each level, each year they would gain a 50-cent increase per hour to hopefully maintain and compensate for their service to the county. And obviously at a certain point would top out, but always would have the option of attaining additional certification, additional degrees, which we've outlined to have that option to continue to move up in the career ladder.
So, one thing that you saw in the workshop when Carr gave the full presentation, you saw the step mechanism. And as he said earlier, I want to emphasize that it's really a supply and demand scenario that we have run into with paramedics. There is way more demand than there are supply. And we're struggling with that when it comes to surrounding areas and other job opportunities. A second point that I want the board just to be mindful of is this is not in and of itself a new thing for EMS. There is a current pay plan in place. However, what Carr was asked to do and worked with Matt Williams was to restructure that pay plan to make it more attractive, to make it more understandable, and to make it more applicable to recruiting those high need and highly qualified individuals that we are missing at a high percentage. The previous one, we discussed some of this in the work session, but the previous one just did not fulfill those goals, and it was complex and hard for staff to navigate. And third, this money is already in their budget due to lapsed salary. This will not cost the county any additional dollars to implement this year. Next year, the impact will be minimal. Of course, like any pay plan, as more people take advantage of it, we'll see increases in that budget for that department. But again, this is one of the departments that we have really faced a lot of challenges in maintaining adequate staffing. And this is an essential service that, for lack of better words, this is something we just can't debate too long. We need to correct this. And I think based on what we've seen, we've got a good plan. I think it meets our goals. It gets salaries in a better recruitment range. Okay. Anyone else have anything to add or comments?
Appreciate you staying and doing that. Sorry to put you on the spot, but y'all put a lot of work into that, and it's a really good thing. And I just felt like it deserved to be on video and be where the public can hear it, where they know that you're working hard trying to overcome the deficits that you have. So I appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, motion by Commissioner Patton. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, your pay plan is approved. Thank you. All right. We'll move on to item number 14, public comments. We have one person signed up to speak. Gunny Hull.
County Commissioners, Gunny Hull, 319 North Poplar. I've missed a few, so I'm trying to catch up, I guess. So, you talked about these purchase of new computers and stuff in school. I just wondered, are our students being protected from porn and other websites? Has that been implemented? Never heard of that before. And bringing up on EMS and firefighters, which I spent 20 years in the fire department, but are we going into public schools and encourage them for EMS, fire, and being a cop as well? I think we may be missing that. And before we get into anything else, there was a couple things I wanted to go back to, and one of them was you got on here a detailed plan evacuation during a natural disaster. Is that meaning if we have a tornado or something other, is it saying that these animals have to be evacuated out? So there again, you putting more things in danger, and you talked about destroying animals that's exempt. I was just wondering if you're putting law enforcement or cops and whoever in danger trying to kill these exotic animals that you want rid of. But we just passed Thanksgiving Day, which is a day we should be giving thanks to Yahweh for what he's done. But it seems like many times we don't care too much for that, and it's getting less and less. I want to remind you also that Pearl Harbor's coming up. Pearl Harbor was a day that many things was done out of place. There's many neglected warnings that was out there, and yet our nation at that time didn't heed the warnings. And there was military standards that was not followed that brought on to Pearl Harbor. So bringing us to present day, that I want to ask you, and you need to think about, have we learned from the past? And it also says that if we don't remember, we don't learn from the past, we're deemed to repeat it. So we're passing a lot of ordinances, but yet there's something that you should be able to strengthen with an ordinance or whatever, is that it's illegal for illegals to be in our county or in our country. So why we're not doing more to remove the illegals that we have in our county? Seems like we're not doing anything very much. And I know our sheriff is doing a good job as far as those that do a crime or whatever, and suppose that's what I'm hearing anyway, then they retain them for ICE to come and pick up. And yet our neighbor, not too far from here, not too much of a constitutional sheriff, went the other way. But like I said, these are was we see what happened in D.C. and other places. When we allow illegals that's not been vetted or illegals that just stayed among us, they are criminals. They're breaking the law. And so that ought to be something that we're concerned with if we want to protect our citizens in our county, which we should be.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, having no one else signed up to speak, I'll close the public comment. Any other business come before this board? All right, any other business on this side? All right.
I'll move we adjourn.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cecina to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.